we're pleased to be joined once again by Damany Head. He is the chairperson of the Pontiac Regional Chamber with us on the Oakland County Megacast. Damany, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate having you on. How have you been? How's the chamber been doing since we last spoke?
Oh, it's been great. Lots of activity. I think there's lots of planning going on around Pontiac. We've seen some really great stories come out of the city overall. And, we're excited about, what I call the on-ramp to the new economy. And we're excited about that and how it's shaping out.
Well, talk to us a little bit about that, as you said, on-ramp to the new economy and as it relates to business in Pontiac. We recently spoke with Mayor Deirdre Waterman about a number of programs through the city that are being enacted to help the local business community in Pontiac. Of course, the new Amazon facilities are going up. One of them is up and running and is actively hiring. And there's so many new opportunities in Pontiac. So elaborate a little bit for us on what that is.
I think there's some really great leadership that's coming to the community. I mean, you look at Matt Ishbia and his dad bringing Shore Mortgage in and, their construction project and their expansion that's happening on South Boulevard. I think they're great leaders for the community in the sense of, just demonstrating the principles of entrepreneurship. I know Pontiac has a deep, rich history with entrepreneurship. And I think, seeing family-owned businesses, come back to the city is really important. You have Williams International, aerospace and engineering business, which is a family-owned business. So I think there's a lot of value in having family-owned businesses come to the city and seeing them represent the principles of building, strong businesses for not only national reach, but international reach.
I know Amazon is a big project that is coming to Pontiac. You have United Shore. How important to the city of Pontiac is it to have some of these larger businesses? But at the same time, it looks like the brakes have been put on due to COVID-19 for some of the smaller businesses in that downtown region.
Yeah, I think, again, one of the things that I want to stress more than anything, I think, with the family businesses that have come to Pontiac, United Shore and Williams International, I think they bring a, sense of a pride and ownership in the city that makes a significant difference. I think with the likes of Amazon, it's another entrepreneurial business from Jeff Bezos and his crew, and doing their expansion across the nation and pretty much across the globe. So what we're seeing is, that expansion in the kind of the small to large businesses. And you have great businesses that are opening even through the COVID crisis. So you have Flavors of Jamaica opening. You also have a bakery, I think it's C&G Bakery, opening in the city of Pontiac. So some business owners are, following through with their plans that happened before COVID. I think that's to be commended. And, there's some people who are, screeching the brakes, and some people who are pivoting. So you have organizations in downtown, especially the food service industry, who are finding how to pivot and find new customers and make their revenues work.
So let's talk a little bit about the city of Pontiac and the Phoenix Center. It has been such a long debate about what to do with the Phoenix Center. I live right near that area in Kego, and you go through and the Phoenix Center is there. Is that going to, what are the plans for it? Let's just say, what are the future plans for the Phoenix Center? Because it is such, a big point of contention there in the city of Pontiac.
I don't know exactly what the plans are. I've spoke with Deirdre Waterman and Kermit Williams and Vince Leonardis from All Construction. And, part of it is the funding of making that building work, right? So I know the point of contention was, do we spend, $7 million we have today, or do we go out for a bond? So that was the primary issue. And I think, one of the pieces that we really have to, start to develop some prowess in as a city is around economically financing our plans. So I know they're working that out between Deidre and Kermit, and I suspect they'll be able to get that done. I know it's a difficult and tough decision to make. Looming in the background is you were once in emergency financial management, and I'm sure that that weighs heavily on their mind about how to make these economic decisions, and with the eye on the future and making sure that they're do a great job with the money they're entrusted with.
Damany Head with us. He is the chairman of the Pontiac Regional Chamber with us on the Oakland County Megacast. And Damany, we talk about all the great programs and help from the city of Pontiac, from Mayor Waterman's office, and from other leadership in the city in helping this economic boom in the city of Pontiac. There's also been a lot of programs enacted on the county level through Oakland County to help local businesses that were struggling through this pandemic to either stay afloat or potentially put themselves in a position to pivot and maybe thrive despite the circumstances that they're under. How critical have those programs been to businesses in Pontiac so far, and how critical will they be as more funding is allotted to them through these programs going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I was, before we talked today, I was looking at some numbers, and 32.9% contraction in the second quarter in GDP across the nation, can kind of tell you, small business owners need that kind of financial support. And I think the county has done a great job of stepping up multiple times. They're currently, doing their second round of funding. First round was stabilization. This round is the reopening funding, along with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation coming in with funding. So I think that when you look at it, small business owners are going to need money either to pivot, right, or they're going to need money to reopen. And I think part of that game plan has to be not only providing the money, but also providing the technical expertise. And I know the county's definitely stepped up a lot to provide that technical expertise.
So a lot of people are staying home a lot more. For people who live in the Metro Detroit area and they haven't been to Pontiac in, let's say, the last 5-10 years, what do you want them to know about Pontiac, how it's changed, and what they should see and visit?
Yeah, I think, Pontiac has I think it's the best melting pot in Oakland County. You have the Hmong community, you have the Latin or Hispanic community, African American, and then you have those communities that broaden the cultural aspects of Pontiac, and you have some really great operators in the city, from Sheila's Bakery, Erebus Escape, right, Fillmore 13, X Fermentation. These are some of the operators in the community that really do a great job to make sure that Pontiac has a really great environment. You got Jalapenos, Carnival Market, which is a great place to just go grab lunch on Walton Boulevard or Avenue. So there's a lot to be desired in Pontiac, and there's a lot of great operators in the community doing a really great job of building kind of some cultural assets, right? And especially if you look at the Crowfoot in downtown Pontiac, they're a great venue for performing artists. So I know they have a great reputation with artists all over the country to bring musical acts in, and they partner really well with those acts. So there are plenty of places, whether it's Elam's or Avon Donuts on Woodward. So you have really great operators who are providing really great businesses. Not to mention you have the Marriott Hotel, which still sits in Pontiac, which is a great place to get away for the weekend. So those are places that I think are really important to the city. And that's not to mention you have the Zoloff family operating M1 Concourse. You got PMD Manufacturing in downtown Pontiac. You got George Kakarian, who owns the soccer arena. I mean, there's lots of historical assets. There's lots of great operators in the community who can make a difference for people who are visiting. Not to mention, the natural assets that we have, whether it's, the Crystal Lake Golf Course, or you're talking about the Clinton River walking trail. So I think, if you're something you want to do in Pontiac, you'll definitely find that opportunity. Whether it's food, whether it's entertainment, or if you're interested in sports, there's those types of things to participate in. And then, not to mention, there's generally something going on every weekend. Last weekend we hosted a sizzling summer event for parents and students in the city, and we had 100 people come out, and there was another festival across the street at City Hall, and there was another festival in the park over on Mount Comb, and so there are always events going on in the city. One of the things I think that historically I call Pontiac is like it's the city for very great private parties, right? So there's always some private party going on in the city that people don't know about, and people are like, what's that party over there? So I think that's one of the great things about Pontiac.
Damany Head with us, the chairperson of the Pontiac Regional Chamber, with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Damany, just another minute or two with you before we got to let you go. Anything else that you'd like to touch on or that's important for our audience to know about the Chamber's work, about the business community in the city of Pontiac?
Yeah, one of the things I would say that's really great about the city of Pontiac is the love, right? There's a lot of love, externally and internally for the city of Pontiac. And we've been working together to create values for one of the nonprofits that we're working on. And, as I looked at everyone's story that I've had a, one-to-one conversation with who's working in or around Pontiac, one, they work hard as hell. And two, there's an affinity for the city that is overwhelming, right? Because they could take their talents and their abilities anywhere in the world, right? They have master's degrees, PhDs, but they're focusing their energy and their love and their power to make the city of Pontiac a better place. And so, for those people in and around Oakland County, I want to say I really appreciate your support and seeing the transformation of Pontiac, and we really appreciate all the love from everyone who works here day in and day out.